right, so this past week we've been doing a lot of work with nonfiction, right? We were learning to add to our ideas, sometimes we change our ideas, sometimes we're just challenging our ideas, and we've been collecting all these books about turtles, okay? Today I want to show you something that I do sometimes in my head while I'm reading that I don't always show you, and so I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on in my head while I'm reading. So every once in a while, readers are going to like check in with themselves to check if they're understanding the main ideas or like the big ideas that the author's trying to communicate to you, okay? So that's what I want to kind of teach you is like how I do this. So we call this like finding a main idea, all right? What's the main idea of a section or a chunk of text? So there's 4 things I do to do this. First, I read a chunk of text. Sometimes a paragraph is too small, so I'll read like more than a paragraph. Sometimes a paragraph is like 3 pages, and so I won't read all 3 pages, maybe I'll just read a page, okay? So I just read a chunk of text. Then what I'm gonna do is I kind of like, just quickly off the top of my head, what were some details that were in that section, okay? And I just like, I do this on my fingers just because it helps me remember what the details were. And then I ask myself, okay, what do these 3 details have in common? Or how are they similar, or how are they kind of the same? And then finally, I say it in a whole sentence. And this is kind of like the part where you get to like, they call it like a main idea statement, okay? And I do this in my head a lot, but today I'm gonna do it out loud so you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? So we already read parts of this book. You guys remember this one? So I'm gonna read a part that we've already read together to kind of do this. I know some of you have a hard time like listening and understanding. You like to read it on your own. So in case you wanna see what I'm reading those first 2 paragraphs right there, okay? But I'm gonna show you how to make the main idea statement. Here we go. A desperate journey begins as a sea turtle hatchling breaks through its eggshell late at night. The hatchling is a perfect miniature version of a full-grown turtle. It fits easily in the palm of a human hand. As the hatchling emerges on the beach, it begins a race for its life. Can the hatchling reach the ocean before being eaten by a gull, crab, or heron? He scurries over the sand along with thousands of other hatchlings. If he is lucky, he will be one of about 50 hatchlings out of every 1,000 that make it into the water. So that was kind of a chunk of text, so I'm just going to kind of name some of the details across my fingers. So the hatchling is like it's like this really small little thing that just fits into your hand. It is like having a race for its life to get to the ocean, and only 50 out of 1,000 hatchlings make it to the water. Okay, so what do these details have in common? Really small, racing for its life, only 50 out of 1,000 make it. So I think it's trying to say that baby turtles are so vulnerable and so fragile. Like they have this like entire dangerous journey just to make it to the water and start their lives. So something like that. So let me try to say it in a better sentence. Sometimes I have to do this a few times. Baby turtles are fragile and have to make a dangerous journey to the water. Okay? Kind of would say that's it. And then I would keep reading. Most of the time I'm doing this more in my head, but sometimes I have to kind of write it out and kind of look more carefully, especially when I'm learning to do it. So I've been reading for a long time, so I do it in my head a lot. But today, especially when you guys do it, you can kind of write these things down, okay? You can write down on a Post-it what your details were, and then you can write a main idea statement if that's something that you're gonna try on. Are you guys ready to try this? Okay, so we're gonna do this with another part, okay? So I actually brought it for you. Share one with your partner, please. So share one with whoever your reading partner is. All right. Can I throw it back to you guys if you keep going? Keep going. Thank you. And you're going to try to do this with your partner, okay? think that group. So, thank you. All right, eyes up. Eyes up. Okay. This time I'm going to watch you do it. All right? So I'm going to read it out loud for you. We read this part the other day too. And then with your partner, as soon as I'm done reading out loud, you're just going to turn and you're going to do this same process together. Okay? Are you ready? Here we go. Our hatchling is a baby leatherback turtle. His species gets its name from its upper shell, which is made of tough, rubbery, leather-like skin. Leatherbacks feed mostly on jellyfish. There are many species of jellyfish in the ocean, so fortunately, leatherbacks usually have plenty of food. The young leatherback will grow to be enormous. Sea turtles are measured by the size of their upper shells. They can measure 4 to 8 feet, 1.2 to 2.4 meters long, and weigh at most about 1,300 pounds, 590 kilograms. If the hatchling reaches this size, few predators will attack it. Only orcas prey on adult leatherbacks. Turn and talk, go.
And then it's like you already know what's going on.
Yeah, an orca, like, it's a whale, and only something that powerful can eat an adult leatherback.
And like the size.
True, the size of it means that the leatherback must be very armored.
Yeah, but it must be like really solid. It just says a whole sentence, like how it says a sentence, like it's not just a normal sentence where they just say turtles do this, turtles do that. They actually explain some extra things that they know.
Not many things from fragile to tough. So I think like what those three have in common is that like turtles are kind of like at the top of the food chain.
Do you mind sharing your ideas out with the rest of the class? And back up here in 3, 2, 1, 0. First of all, it was really cool. I saw some of you going like this, and that was really cool to see because that's exactly what I do. So Liliana is going to share her main idea statement with us. And Lily, you saw me do it. I have to do it like a few times, so it's okay if you want to keep rewording it, okay? Are you ready? Really nice loud voice to share with everybody.
When we read it, I heard that the turtles eat like jellyfish, so that was one thing. And then another thing is that the turtles are very heavy and tall. And the third thing was that only orcas eat them. And I know those all are like they all have in common is that they're like at the top of the food chain, and like not many things eat them, and like they eat pretty big things, and a lot of things are probably more afraid of them.
So let's try to say that in like a sentence. You can jump in if you can help her out. Does anyone want to help too?
Leatherback turtles are at the top of the food chain.
Turtles are at the top of the food chain. Awesome. So, did anybody choose any of those same details? Just go like this if you chose some of those same details, or if you had something similar. Some of us did? No? Oh, you did? Oh, okay. All right. So this is something that you're constantly doing when you're reading nonfiction, okay? So I know today when you're like reading your nonfiction books, I want you to try to do this in conjunction with some of the other things you're doing. I know we're still adding to our thinking. We're still changing our thinking if we're reading a book where maybe we didn't know something before. We're still challenging our thinking if something's different than what we had thought before. But we're also tracking these messages that the author is trying to communicate to us. We're building these main idea statements so that we can have an idea of the author's message, okay? So today when you go off and read, if you want to try this step, okay? And even for some of us, it was nice to talk through it, but you might even want to jot it down on a Post-it note. And let's start to see chunks of text, what those main ideas are, okay? So you can hand your papers back to me. You can go grab your nonfiction books and get to your reading spots, and you guys can try out some of these different things.